Sandy Sauve. I'm the processing supervisor here at UBATracers. And for those of you that are watching on YouTube that may not be involved with UBATracers yet, you're going to want to head over there to UBATracers.com. There's a link in the description box below. You can sign up for free, take a look at everything, decide if this is something you want to get involved with to make money with or not. It's a 4-step simple process to basic, I guess, searching, databasing, and making money from home. And so this is episode number 5 of the weekly Work at Home News. We bring you every Wednesday weekly Work at Home News with UBATracers. We cover a lot of topics and things like that. I'm excited this week because we have a new feature spotlight that I want to talk about with you, to you. It is in regards to the member spotlight. So we're going to have a guest, and we're going to talk about processing and working from home and mindset, and how do you manage things and things like that. So I figured that we'd have a segment during the weekly news that could help you, other than just give recognition, go through the updates of things at UBATracers, but you can actually talk and hear from other members, just rather than just myself. If you don't know my story, I've been involved in the work from home, make money. I've been a freelance marketing mama for since 2012. Full-time. I became involved with UBATracers in 2017 basically by accident. I've been asked to share my story exactly how that happened, but I was actually a recipient of a unclaimed bank account. The company that followed me up was the company that we work with, and I asked them, because I was doing online marketing at the time and stuff, and I said, how do people get involved with what you guys are doing? Because it's amazing. It wasn't a lot of money. It was a couple $100, but I was excited about it. So they showed me and told me a little bit. I got to know one of the owners, and they offered me what I presented to them, and I offered them that I could help them get more processed by having people like you guys and myself at the time. At the beginning, it was just friends and family that I recommended, and began processing with them. And now I've become the processing supervisor for the company, along with processing myself, because that is a very good income for myself. As you can see on the leaderboards, and some of the other members we have earn hundreds of thousands of dollars over a period of time. But it is a good way to earn a good, serious part-time or full-time income here. So we're going to have other members, though. So you know my story now. We're going to have other members come on every week in a segment, and we're going to call it Member Spotlight, and we're going to interview. And it'll be me and one guest, and we're going to interview and just go through some of the procedures of, how is it working at home? What about taxes? What about being an independent contractor? How do you stay focused? How do you keep self-discipline? Things like that. I'll ask them and drill them on all kinds of different things. And so we're gonna talk a little bit about that today too as well. But we got lots of other things to cover first, like we normally do. These are our rising stars. For those of you that haven't checked out the leaderboard in your training hub at UBATracers, we have monthly top earners, and then we have the lifetime top earners. These now, they haven't added onto the website yet the rising stars yet, but these are the rising stars over the last week that are processing like crazy with us. Okay, these are people that are really serious about working from home, just like I am, and it's nice to see regular names on the board, but it's most importantly for me exciting to see new names on the board. So you can see that there's a lot of new names, but there's a lot of other names, because those people are consistent. If you become a rising star, I can't say any more than that, but they're working on something for you guys. But but it's in your first 30 days of being a processor with UBATracers. You'll be able to be rewarded outside of just your normal paychecks and deposits that you guys get. Okay, so just quick shout out before I move on to the next segment. Hitesh, Garish, and if I butcher or brutalize any of these names, I apologize that so much. You guys can help me out by sending me an email at sandysilvaonline@gmail to help me out pronounce it properly if I do butcher it. But Hitesh Garish, I've heard from him a lot, and he's brand new with us a week or two. I think it's been about 2 weeks now. And he's one of our premier processors too, and he's doing really, really well. He's consistent, which is the key, and I'm going to talk about that today too. Vangerlin, I've never seen that before. It's a very unique name, which I love unique names. Vingler Johnson, Betsy Anderson, Kendra Shore, Mary Carroll, who's been a Rising Star a couple weeks now, Elena Vitrisi, hopefully I got that right. I know she's from Romania, so welcome and good job to get off to a good start. Edward Polino, Andy Fosak, I think. Kendall Knight has produced, I think it's over 200 processing forms really quickly, so good job, Kendall. Derek Molden, Alan Van Camp, he's brand new. Pat Hayes is brand new. He's also a premier processor. Marilyn Dubois, I think I said that right. Andrew Hurd, Tashika Smith, I've corresponded with her recently on a fairly consistent basis. I think she's only 3-4 days old, new to us. Rhonda Stewart, Alicia Goldblum, if I say that right, sorry. Thomas Kite, Jerry Evans, Jim Cagley, Paul Birdsall, Devon Lucas, Camilla Scott. Our Rising Stars here for this week, and like I said, every Wednesday we update that Rising Stars list. They have promised to me, but they are super busy with the amount of people that are coming involved with the processing department and speeding things up with them. They're on a hiring frenzy, but they also promised me that they will have a Rising Stars section in the leaderboard sometime in the next week to 10 days. Well, by the end of the month anyway, we should be able to see those names up there, and also the recognition that they're due outside of just me giving it to them on the weekly work at home news. Okay, so now let's talk about the member spotlight. This is going to be really cool, and I'm excited about it because one of my mentors from a long time ago, I met Paul way back in 2012. We're going to have him on as the very first guest because he's really insightful, not just in processing, but most importantly that I wanted to bring him on to help you guys out next week is he is really good at mindset. He's been, I believe it's 20 years or more than 20 years. Hopefully I'm not dating his age there, but he is going to be on our first guest. So on August 28th, I'm going to have him on here. So if you guys want to forward questions first and things like that. He's also one of our highest longtime earners as well with UBATracers. He will be on here, but mainly I'm going to corner him and we're going to talk to him about mindset, how long because he's been doing this way longer than I have online as a freelance entrepreneur. So we're going to have him, we're going to get some insights from him, how to stay disciplined, how to stay focused, how to be consistent, all those kind of things. Talk a little bit about, income tax and the benefits of those things with him. And he's been, if you guys don't know who he is, he's been around a long time, made a lot of money online, not just with UBATracers, of course, well before that. And he does a lot of things now. I bumped into him and recommended the program to him because he was mentoring me in some affiliate marketing and marketing online and those kind of things, and I continue to do those today, obviously, with this YouTube channel. So, and then we're going to have Cammie McLennan on. I believe she's from Canada, I think, and she's going to be on September 4th, and I've only spoken with her once, but she's going to be on with us. I got confirmation from her. So every week I'm going to have a guest, and then I'm going to have a couple lined up. So we always have somebody new coming on and sharing different insights, different ways, because it's always good to get a different perspective of how people do things from home. What are their workspaces like? Where do they work from? I work from my laptop. And so depending on where maybe they work off the phone, I don't know. But we're going to find out next week, starting with Paul, and then we're going to have Cammie on the following week right after that. And I'm working on lining up the next two after that, so I will update you next week on this same weekly work at home news, where you can always find it in the members area at ubatracers.com or on my YouTube channel, where you may have found it today. Okay. So now, the next thing we got to remind everybody of, because we have so many people new watching this video all the time, it started back on July 26th and it will end on September 1st. Processors submitting 10 submission, not claim forms, because there is a bit of confusion with that. People thinking they just submit a submission form or a claim form in step 2 to be able to qualify for this extra $500. No, you need to claim it first, get approved, and then when they send you the submission forms, you complete them and database them in, data entry everything in from the data banks, the information you found on the unclaimed property, and then you submit it, and what that counts as one. So a lot of you guys, especially the rising stars, they qualify every single time. But in a weekly period during that time, you get an extra $500, an easy $500 above and beyond the 10% commission we get for just processing accounts for over $250. Okay, so a lot of extra money to be made. There's only a short period of time left. I haven't even asked about it if this will be extended or not, but they do frequently have different incentive contests, usually through the summer, the bigger ones, because that's when it's the slowest. Most people are traveling and things like that. So you still have time to be able to do it. Yeah, to get your 10 in, make sure you do it on a consistent basis. So, and I had another question I just thought of as I was explaining that to all the newbies out there. But last week, someone said they submitted one and they're waiting for they're waiting to hear back to do 10 more. Can I do it again? And I couldn't believe it. Mostly when you find an exciting program like this, you be consistent. Okay, I would think, but some people aren't, and some people just need more direction. So I felt it was best to make sure that I spent a little bit of time making sure that you guys understood the importance of consistency, not only just because the money, but because it'll keep you and build you up the self-discipline and the positive attitude that you could have towards doing this. There is so many people out there that I've learned that are look and see. So watch and see. Does this person do it? Then I'll do it. If they do it and it's good, then I'll do it. Those are always the missed opportunities people go through in life. You know, shoulda, coulda, woulda, because I watched and I was safe and I just made sure everything I did one first and I wasn't sure if I was to do it again, so I had to ask permission from Sandy before I did 10 more. No, there's free money there for you to be consistent. And that brings me to the next point I want to cover on this week's video report is that you should be consistent all the time. We don't get paid instantly. We don't get paid because we have to send it into them. They have to process it. They have to claim the form. They have to work. They have to get the brokerage company to release the funds from the controller or the Bank of Canada before we actually get paid. So it's 2, 3, 4 weeks before we even get paid. So if we sit there and wait for that to happen, what's going to happen is this. When you first start, which I learned it at the very, very beginning. That's why I'm sharing this with you through my experience. When I first started, I can't remember the exact number, so I might be exaggerating a little bit, but it was 25 or 30 of the forms, and I did them all in the first day. Okay. Then I was so excited, and I was still doing other things at the time, in a big way. So I went off and did those. Now, a couple of weeks go by, a month goes by, and all of a sudden I get this big fat check. And I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe it. This is so good and this is real. Then I never got another check for 2, 3, 4 weeks again. Why? Because I didn't keep consistent with it. I didn't know that, well, I didn't foresee how long it would take for me to get one. So, because just like any job or anything you do, they hold for the first time you work, they hold for a couple of weeks anyway. So it's in the same realm of working in a brick and mortar type business or as an employee for a company. You're not going to get paid because you did work today, Wednesday. You're not going to get paid on Friday. You're not going to get paid for 2 weeks and 2.5 weeks from that. Okay? Now, and the way that this works, you need to be consistent. Because then what'll happen, if you do at least 10 a week, I suggest you do more, and it's up to you based on your ability to be able to do that. But if you do 10 a week consistently for week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, you never miss a paycheck on Friday. I haven't missed a paycheck since that very first time, over almost 2 years ago now. Okay? I never missed a paycheck on Friday after that. I get people paid this way. Did you get paid? And I said, I always get paid, but I know what you mean. You mean did I get paid the same thing that you did? Remember, we're always getting paid 2, 4 weeks later. Okay? So, but if you're not consistent, which is totally up to you, but I'm just telling you, if you're serious about doing this, you need to be consistent by doing at least, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but 10 a week. If you do just 10 a week, you're going to get paid every single Friday from now till Kingdom Come. Okay? So it's better instead of doing 200 all at once, which is great and you get a big fat paycheck. The problem is you're just going to get one. And then I know what people say, well, then I'll be excited and then I'll go and do more. But then you're going to be disappointed again because they're going to be 2 weeks, 3 weeks lag again before you get paid. So I wanted to spend some time on that and make sure that that's clear. And hopefully that makes sense to you and you understand that. Okay? In your own world, if you want to play in your own mind, everything else, that's up to you. But I know because I've been here for 2 years and I know what happens. And I'm trying to share my experience. At least you're listening to it, and at least you can consider it, and hopefully you can process that and make sense of it. Okay? Now, enough said on that. Let's get back to the bonuses. But I want to make sure that you guys are clear that you don't want to be, disappointed again. You want to be consistent. So if you're going to do 50, you'd be better off, and I recommend right now, you'd be better off doing 5 weeks in a row of 50. Okay, not a 50 of 10. 10 each week for 5 weeks, because after that, you're never going to slow down and get a non-check again. You're going to get a check every single Friday. I say check, but most people get check. I think only less than 10% of people get a check, but most people get direct deposits or PayPal. Okay? So that I wanted to share with you and spend some time on to make sure that you understood the importance of that. Now, the next thing is really exciting, but also a little bit of a doubter that they haven't updated the website again, but I've been promised that the standings for the Atlantis Paradise Island trip in the Bahamas, the top 25 qualifiers from August 7th to September 13th, so we're almost halfway through, I guess, you earn points to be able to get an all-expensive paid for 2, so you and a guest, doesn't matter if it's your sister, doesn't matter if it's your brother-in-law, well, who would take the brother-in-law anyway, but but anyways, if it's your spouse, if you want to take one of your children, the child at least I've been updated on this, the child has to be at least over 16 years of age if you do want to take the guest as one of your children. But you earn points, and the top 25 people, the company here is going to pay for the top 25 people all exclusive pays. It's over $3,000 that you get per person. Okay, it's a week-long get-together, summit, whatever you want to call it, resort getaway, and we just all hang out and have a lot of fun. Okay, they've never done this before because we've never had this many processors before. So I'm excited for it because I'm excited for some of you guys that are qualified. I don't know the exact where everybody stands position-wise of who's qualified so far until they update that, but I have been told that even the top 25 hasn't been reached yet. Like some people on number 23 or 24 only have like 1 point or 2 points. Okay, so you need to pay attention to that, because if you want to get a free trip, even if you don't take the free trip and give it away or pass on it to give it to the next processor in line, you've used this as an incentive to get serious and consistent, like I mentioned before. Here's how you earn the points. For every processing form submission you make, so you do 10, it's not in segments of 10 or anything, each one of those 10 is worth 1 point. So you get 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point for all 10. Okay? If you refer a friend, a relative, someone you know online that you've been working with, whatever, you make it, and that at least does 1 processing form submission, not a set of 10 or anything, because I had to clarify that. A lot of people email me. They just have to do 1, and you get 5 points. Okay? Not a claim form, an actual submission. You get 5 points for that. So I do both of them. Okay, I've always been doing them, and up until now, I was actually the only one that would be incentivized to do it. But you guys are as well now, as they segue their way into having a referral type program down the road, I believe. You get 5 points for that. So all you need to do to qualify for Atlantis is get your processing forms in on a regular basis, do 10 a week or whatever you're set up to do. Then refer someone that it does the exact same thing, and just do that every week, and you'll qualify for the Atlantis Paradise Island trip in the Bahamas, and I'll get to personally meet you face to face with Paul and Cami and all the other processors, Rob, and everybody else that's doing well. They're going to qualify as well. I know they will. The top 25, I don't even think we have 150 processors maximum, so it's very easy to qualify for the trip. I strongly suggest that you do it. Now, the next question you probably have is how do you get credit for the referrals? Well, on your claim forms, when you file in the claim forms, there's a section down here, as you can see. It says, sorry, if you I was going to read the wrong line. If you are referred to UBATracers by someone, please provide their first and last name so we can thank them. When they get the form, that's how they calculate the extra 5 points when the other person makes the submission. Okay, so it's not about you having a referral link or anything like that. It's not that crazy. It's not an affiliate program. It's not internet marketing and all that kind of stuff. It's just refer your friends, family. If you want, if you know people online, if you do something online, make sure that they know who you are. As you guys, some of you guys are smart enough to figure out, when I make YouTube videos, when someone comes over, when they make a referral, how did they hear about it? Sandy Solvay. So they put my name in there. Does it happen every time? Is there a way for a person to forget? Absolutely. Do I worry about it? Absolutely not. And you shouldn't either. Okay, so if you're serious about getting the trip, you're serious about making money as a processor here, I strongly suggest that you get involved in the Atlantis trip, even if you don't want to go, even if you can't, even if you're one of those people that I always find interesting when companies that I've been involved with have incentive trips. There's some people, well, I don't need the trip anyway, or I just want to do this or whatever. That's their mindset is wrong. And next week when we have Paul on here, he's gonna crack the whip. I know it, because that's where I learned a lot of this stuff is to have a different kind of mindset. Vaulted me from making anywhere from $200-300 a month to $1,200 a month, to over tens of thousands of dollars a month. And it was, there's little tricks and things like that, but I was always closed off to them until I changed my mindset and I had a positive outlook on things. And when I did that, things changed for me and things became more clear for me, and I took more initiative. I know you've heard it before. Well, if you believe it, you can achieve it and all that stuff. And some of you guys sitting there, well, I don't believe that stuff. I need to see it first. You never will. And until you get that, you never, ever will. Look where you are in life. You never will. You have to believe it and see it first in your mind, in your vision. Then you can get it. And I know for some of you, you really will never grasp that, and that's sad and unfortunate. But I was the same way. But once I got a hold of some right training and coaching and things like that, and started to open up myself a little bit and change a little bit, and realize I need to change myself, my income quadrupled. A tenfold. So I strongly recommend that you just go out there and give an effort if you are interested in doing that. This has been this week's UBATracer weekly work at home news. I'm Sandy Sauvé, the freelance marketing mama. I hope you guys, I'm also the processing supervisor here at UBATracers, but I'm also a processor. So get excited about the trip. Get excited about next week when we have the spotlight. I can't wait to have Paul in here and you guys to actually hear his insights on things. He blows me away every time I talk to him. So I'm going to drill him. I got my questions already ready for him. So we're going to interact and have some fun next week. And hopefully you guys will join us on that as well. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure that you check that off. Hit the bell, because I do update videos on a frequent weekly, throughout the week on a daily basis, for you to get updates on that as well. And happy processing, everybody. Thanks again for listening and watching, and I will see you again next week on the UBATracers Weekly Work at Home News.